Climbing slings, specifically slings for sport climbing, because that's what I talk about. If you want a video that's super science-based and has every single number, then this isn't the video for you. Go find another one. This is just gonna be a really quick video on what I know about climbing slings and how I think about it. For single pitch sport climbing, this is a sling. It's a fixed loop. They have stitching that keeps them together. There's only two things that make slings different: the material and the size. For material, I just think about nylon and all the other stuff. So that's Dyneema, Spectra, there's lots of different names. This one is kind of the old school common one. It's nylon. And nylon, it's cheaper. You can just get them for cheaper. It is heavier. It takes up a lot more space than the other material slings. So the other materials, there's a few different names for them. Each one has its own specific features, but in general, they cost more, but they take up less space. A lot of these thinner pieces can be a little harder to untie. Think about a knot. If you were to tie a knot in a really small piece of rope even and crank it tight, that's gonna be a lot harder to undo than if you were to do it with a larger piece of material. So that's a factor. That's kind of the trade-off in materials. For size, so there's many different sizes of slings. So you basically have 60 centimeter, 120, 180, 240. They probably sell bigger ones, but I don't have one. This is a 60 centimeter sling, and it's actually 120 centimeters of length sewn together. This is a 120. This is going to be 240 centimeters that's sewn together, and that gives you, 120 in total distance from one hand to the other. Now there's a 180. I actually don't have any 180s. I should get one. They sound like a great size to have, but this is a 240, so this is actually double back because my arms don't go 240 centimeters apart. But this is kind of a big burly nylon sling. I don't use this one that much, but I have it when I was doing guiding and slinging trees and stuff. So you basically have 60 centimeter, 120, 180, 240. So those are the four different sizes and the two types of materials and how I think about climbing slings. We're using these slings a lot of the time in single pitch sport climbing for personal anchors and for building an anchor. One of the ways that people often use a sling as a personal anchor is they will girth hitch it to their belay loop. If I'm having something around my belay loop, I like having a big, thicker nylon sling usually. Having a thicker piece is gonna distribute that a little bit more. Depending on what you're doing, you can have a 60 centimeter as a personal anchor. Some people rock that. I like having a 120 on me at all times on my back to build anchors and also make an improvised personal anchor if I need to. I don't really take out the 240 that much. That's mostly for like alpine stuff, or if I'm guiding or I'm going into a big new multi-pitch that has a lot of question marks for me, I'll take maybe a 240 up. But honestly, this nylon one doesn't get used that much. And I use the 60 centimeter these days, often just for slinging all my gear on so that I can carry it to the crag or hang it up when I'm there. I take up, if you don't know, what I take up with me is just a 120 sling, and this is how I kind of rack it in case you care about how I take it up. If you don't care about what I take up, then you can just end the video now. But basically I'll clip one, clip the other, so it's easy to clip onto the anchor. But then the way that I rack these up is you can put the one carabiner through the other, clip it to those two, pull that snug. Sometimes this little stitching goes in there. Pull that snug, then I twist this a few times, clip the carabiners together, and then I can throw it on my harness quickly and easily, and it doesn't take up too much space. Then when it's time to deploy, I can just untwist this. I grab one rope or one strand with the carabiner, and now I have this ready to deploy quickly. So it's quick to get on and off, and that's how I rack up my 120 sling. If I'm going into other types of climbing, I might pre-rig a personal anchor and stuff like that, but that's for another video. This is just about slings, so hopefully now you know more about slings. If you're not already in my little community, then look at the link in the bio or wherever links are on this social media platform, or send me a message and I'll invite you into a little community that we have built of beginner climbers who are looking to learn to climb. It's called the Climb Clear Academy, and we'd love to see you in there. Peace.